Hello. Oh.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ah.
uh,
Hello, can we get the camera down here, please? Oh, thank you. Hi, my name is Matt. Welcome to the Monster Marathon. Sorry about that whole extended intro. It's the intro to a run in Kaichu, which is what I'm talking about today. So, welcome. Throughout Kaichu, you'll wander around. You'll see Kaiju like this one. Hello, Masra. Then it follows with the news talking about stuff, including the discussion of why you're going around breaking things, which boils down to essentially kaiju-like destruction, better date. So in the dates, you'll have three options, either a plus sign, either a like thumbs up, thumbs down, or neutral. As you can see above, these respond to the questions at the bottom. There's also the 1, 2, or 3 fingers up based on the answers at the bottom. If you answer correctly, there's the heart eyes and the kissy face. You do the best, you destroy the building properly. If you answer okay, then you get just a blushing smiley face and you do a little destruction. There's also the deal breaker question, which is the final question of each date, and it influences how it goes. If you get it right, then rather than explain, I'll just show you. This is what happens when you get it right. You're going to be seeing this a lot if you're good at the game. And if you do an okay answer, you get that. If you answer it wrong, it's not worth showing. But that's a basic overview. And here is your spoiler warning, because I'm going to talk a lot about this game. And if you do not want to hear spoilers, I would advise leaving now. But as you can see on screen, I didn't really plan this out, and I'm behind schedule, so we're winging it. Welcome to the Kaiju. This is where I'll talk about them. First on the docket is Mothra, the moth made of plant life. This is one of my favorites. She is a great character. Her whole story is about family and essentially accepting to love a family even if you're not blood related. Found family shenanigans. The whole, like, as the story goes on, as you're keeping doing dates, it'll show more of the story, and it reveals that Mothra has a bunch of offspring, and the question of can Gigachu properly love them despite not being their biological father comes up, which, of course, if you say no to that, then you're a heartless monster. No, you're just a rude person. But I enjoy this story. Mothra's design is really fun. I like the leaf wings. I like the what are they called? The cattails. I like the cattail umbrella. Well, not umbrella, antenna. Jesus Christ, I can talk, I promise. But I really just like Mothra's story. Also, later on in the story, you have to go around talking to all the other kaiju, and she usually gives you, like, very motherly advice. The type of advice of somebody who has seen the world and traveled around and experienced a lot of things in life. And that's just nice. But yeah, that's about all there is on Mothra, other than the fact that I love interacting with Mothra. Mothra's my second favorite kaiju in this. Ignore the old video, it does not apply here. But that's honestly about all for Mothra. Moving on. Up next we have Turpio, and I adore Turpio. Turpio is another favorite of mine, but I love Turpio's design being like a four-armed, two-legged scorpion creature in a turtle shell. I love that. I love that there's a reference to Gamera in the dialogue. I love that the whole thing is coming out of your shell and being comfortable with who you are. That's just a nice message to have, no matter what the context is. Even if you are giant monsters dating. But it's a nice thing to have. I love Terpio. Terpio is just, I can't get over how much I love the design. The design is amazing. It's such a lovely thing. I love how the shell segments like overlap one another. I know that's a fairly common thing, but it's such a lovely design. I love Terpio. That's kind of it on Terpio. Moving on. Up next is Megaricus. I love this one's design. I love them. They're great. They are a sentient mushroom colony that travels through space. I love the design being just the kind of mushroom shapes that you would see on like a log, just downward slope over one another to make almost a dress shape. That I adore. It's great design. Their whole story is essentially not being tied down, just living free almost. Like traveling freely. A big thing of theirs is like at the end when you're forced to make a climactic decision to choose your ending. The correct answer for the good ending is, I believe the question is, what drew you to them? And the correct answer is something like their freedom to travel. A huge thing of their story is just like traveling freely through space. That was something that they really enjoyed in the past, and now they're on Earth. And at the end, spoilers, but that's already had a warning. In the end, you end up traveling through space with them. And I love the design. I love I love their powers. Another big thing with them is no physical contact. If you do the good deal breaker answer, whereas others you would just straight up smooch the monster, with Megaricus you hug with a barrier between you two because you cannot make physical contact. If I remember correctly, due to toxic spores. I could be wrong though. I don't know. Even if I played this right before recording the audio, my brain's so melted by everything I've done in this life that I probably wouldn't even remember it. But I I like Megaricus's design. They are they have such a wonderful design and I love it. But that's about it, honestly. And onwards is Garudon. This is my favorite. I fucking love Garudon. Buff Birdman. He is just one of my favorites straight up because his his whole thing is just learning to lean on others. Like, spoiler, with how the story goes, there is a like first act, second act, and then third act before the finale. In the second act, a modified bird flu is released by Major Panjandrum. Only one person here watching will get that reference. And uh, essentially, what happens is Garudon gets sick to the point where he can't even destroy buildings anymore. He's not even committing to the destruction. He is that ill. And during that time, he has to learn to lean on you for help. And I really enjoy that. Like, how many good lessons is that from this? We've got learning to trust and to lean on others. We've got learning to accept boundaries with Megaricus. We've got learning to come out of your shell and accept who you are. We've got learning to love others even if they are not your family, or rather not blood related. They can still be family. This game just has a lot of nice messages. I like it. I like Garudon's design. I enjoy the feathery beard aesthetic. Also, it's referenced in the game that he was in a push-up competition. Either he or someone who like looked like him was in a push-up Jesus Christ, competition with somebody named King Swolleman, and I want to know more about that because that's hilarious. But that's kind of about it, honestly. That's all I can say without sounding weird about Gargadon, so moving on. Tephra. Oh man, Tephra's a fun route. From memory at least. Tephra, the volcanic being that she is, I love I love just the route. Uh Essentially it's just being who you are, doing what you want to do. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong. My brain ain't exactly the steel trap it used to be. It's kind of rusty. Anyhow, I just like that Tephra's in the game, honestly. She's got a fun route. If I remember correctly, there's also a bit about anger and controlling that, which, I mean, that's personal with me, so I'm all in for that. I'm all ears. But it's, I just enjoy her design and her route. I like that she is just straight up lava being wearing a volcano essentially and with smoke for hair. Also, her animations are the best. Fucking fight me. I will fight you on this. But that's honestly about it for Tephra, I think. And up next is Queen Sidora. Now, Queen Sidora, obviously a reference to King Ghidorah, or King Ghidorah, or King Ghidra if you're a failure of pronunciation. But she has a fun route. Ignore the old video. The old video is inaccurate. She has a very fun route because her entire story is about how she's royalty and she doesn't want to be treated as royalty. Understandably so. I imagine being a royal would suck because sure, you're fucking like rich and powerful and you're literally royalty, but at the same time, nobody will ever treat you the same once they find out about that. And I can imagine that's just kind of a lonely existence. Like imagine you had a bunch of friends, you're playing with them, all of a sudden like you have to go home for dinner, you get told at dinner, "We're rich now," and all of a sudden those friends no longer want to just play with you. They want to play with you and get things from you. Or you're told that your father is now the president. Well, now you're the president's kid and you can't really play with anybody because either there's security nearby or people are afraid to play with the president's kid. Understandably so, I feel, but I enjoy this route. I enjoy her design. Her design is phenomenal. Seahorse Hydra, that's just a cool concept, but I enjoy her route because I kind of understand. Like, I'm not anybody famous. I'm not anybody rich or wealthy or powerful. Nobody in my family is, as far as I know, at least. But I can understand that wanting to not be treated differently for just one factor. And I enjoy that there are many options in her run that are like, oh, why are you going out with her for money? And it's like, no, it, no. I'm I myself am no gold digger, but I mean the option is there if you want to be a scumbag. But I enjoy her run. Her run's kind of fun. I think it's nice, but that's kind of it for Queen Sidora. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I am so sorry this came out at such a weird time. I got sidetracked by life and got caught off schedule, but hopefully I can get the next video out on time, at least if not on time, earlier than this one. This one was way off schedule. I was aiming for Saturday. It's Monday, dog. Have a good one. See you later, folks.